Kelley, Director of Athletics Communication here on the Warriors Coaches Show, our third Coaches Show this season. And I have alongside me the head women's soccer coach, Coach Jeff Trimble. Coach, you guys are off to a really good start this season. We're going to go through just a little bit of a recap on this season. First game, we played McMurray, I guess about a month ago, and that was a match in which we won 6-1, and we outshot McMurray 33-2. So just, I guess, give a little bit of a summary on what you felt after that game.
Yeah, you never know what you're going to get the first game of the season. So it was, you had some nerves. I felt like we would come out and play pretty well. I felt like we were going to be good attacking, and we were. We created a lot of shots. But sometimes soccer is a funny game, so you're never sure if you're creating all these opportunities, are you going to make them? Are you going to capitalize on the opportunities? How are you going to? How many will you be able to? And so it was a good start. Getting 6 goals obviously is a good start. Every coach would take that. I was pretty happy with the result, seeing it was the first game, and I knew coming up we were going to have some more games that are going to be challenging, so I was happy obviously to start off 1-0.
So after that win, I guess not we, but you guys ended up facing University of Texas at Tyler, which is a team out of ASC. Really good team, a team that was in the top 25 a couple years ago, and that was a heartbreaker. If you're a true Warrior fan, heartbreaking loss, 30 seconds to go in double overtime, 30 seconds away from a tie. Talk about, I know it's a heartbreaking loss, you didn't feel too good. What was the mindset after that loss?
Yeah, that's one of those things as a coach where you gotta kind of read how your team's going to react to that. UT Tyler is a great team, historically a good program. Always, for some reason, we're always playing close games with them, which is nice. We responded to tie the game to send it to overtime. Getting it into overtime was good for us, but we felt like, because it was a back and forth game. They had some chances, we had some chances. We actually had a corner in overtime, and as you know, it's sudden death. So you try to tell the girls, that ball goes in the net either way. One team's running out on the field, one team's celebrating. And unfortunately, it got to late in the game. And it got to a place with 30 seconds left where they had a corner. If we get a good clearance, I don't think we have enough time to get the ball down to score. But we've worked hard, and we would have taken a tie. And we did not get the clearance. And so that's heartbreaking. Having experienced that, though, as you just led to in the question, that it did help the team quite a bit. The team needs to see that. They need to experience that sometimes to get bigger and better things down the road. So I think it was a good lesson for us. I felt like we played good soccer that day. And as I said before, in soccer, it can be unfair at times. I don't think it was necessarily unfair, but it was certainly a game we could take a lot of positives from.
That's always really good, especially for the non-conference games. So it's nice to see where you're at in the season. Following that, we faced the Ozarks, traveled to Clarksville, first in-state game of the season, won a 2-0 game against a very good, much better than they have been in the past, Ozark Eagles team. And then after that, we came back to Conway to play Westminster. Again, we lost 0-1, but despite the loss, we outshot the team 20-6. So that was an up and down week. Kind of give your feedback and mindset off of that 1-1 week.
Yeah, that was a different week for sure. Going to Ozarks, the first road trip. Like you said, they're a good team, good athletic team. I felt like we played well. It's a tough place to play. Got a result. Coming back here, you tell the girls, I've alluded to it before, just because you're going to be able to have more opportunities doesn't mean you're going to win the game. We had a couple of those last year where I felt like we played really well and created a lot of good opportunities and didn't get a result. And the Westminster game was that place. I mean, we really created well. Much to their credit, they played good soccer and they capitalized on their chance and they sat in a little bit and allowed us to attack. And we could not. We tried shooting from distance. We tried crossing the ball. We obviously tried to break through with a couple through balls to get in on one-on-ones, and we had those opportunities, but we didn't capitalize. So, we can't blame the referees, you can't blame the effort. We created, we just didn't score. So you try to spin it that way, but once again, it's frustrating. And we had a game the next day, and so the Westminster game was our game. You had to hurry up and kind of get out of your head a little bit and not let it dictate who you were.
So after those 2 games, came back, and you guys shut out both Howard Payne and Louisiana College for their first home back-to-back shutout since 2015. Two really good games at home for Evie Cannon, I said it right, and Hagen Griffith, two upperclassmen for you that you've coached your entire tenure here, two that are historically on the brink of making history. Hagen is 11 goals shy of the all-time leader, Samantha, who set that record a couple years ago, and Evie is 7th all-time in goals with 17 goals, I believe. I don't have that note. Anyways, back-to-back shutouts, and then you guys traveled to Cleveland yesterday. Really tough team, tough game. That's a really good team that's in the Gulf South Conference. Talk about the two victories, but also a little bit about just the impact of yesterday's game had on you guys, with that being the last non-conference game for a little bit as you guys open up SAA play this upcoming weekend. You led very well with that question. It is going to be, we're going to go as far as our back line and our collective defending allow us to go this year. Hagen's going to be dangerous. Evie's going to be dangerous. Our out wide players, Mary Helen, Stella, Skylar, Kelley, we have some very good athletes out there that can play soccer. Our midfield's good. Macy and Sydney are doing a great job in the midfield. Becca coming in. We've got some depth and some players up there, so we're going to be able to attack and create chances. We've got to make sure we're working just as hard defending. Our back line is good at times, and our midfield can be good helping them defend at times, and our goalkeeping is solid and can make, both keepers can make really good saves. Lacey's playing well right now. But if we don't defend real well, then we're going to have a problem. We've got to be a defend-first team and just allow kind of our talent, our system to help us create good offensive opportunities. But we've got to stay in the mindset. We've got to play with some numbers behind the ball. We've got to help each other out. We did that in those two games, Howard Payne and Louisiana College. We worked hard defensively. I think it was not easy. It was fun to do at home, in a good environment. And then you go on the road for our first big road trip, 3.5 hours down the road, and in the heat. They played in also. Delta State played obviously in that atmosphere also. It was going to be a game where we would have to do work, and we didn't do it. So it's a lesson learned. And I'd rather learn those lessons, like you said earlier, outside of conference than in SAA play. And so we've learned it. Hopefully, we'll talk about it today at practice a little bit, and we'll get geared up for this weekend. Sounds good. 2 days left. First week of the season, we have freshmen that had an outstanding week in the the 6-1 victory against McMurray and the 3-2 loss against UTT. Mary Halen Van Hoy, freshman attacker, I guess you want to call her, had 3 goals and assists. Talk about her, but also give us a preview on the BSC, Birmingham Southern. BSC, I said that right. Birmingham Southern. As you guys prepare to travel down there and to open up SAA play. Mary
Helen's been playing well. It's always good, and you always have a fun time when you're not sure how your freshmen are going to respond. And I think it was neat for her to kind of get in a game, get comfortable, score some goals. It started her season off well. It started kind of the relationship with the team really well. Obviously, she showed that she was a freshman. She was able to start, and she was able to kind of provide and help out. Stella Crone's on the other side. She's another freshman on the other side as a right forward, and she's doing some good things too. But it was neat to have Mary Helen recognized. I'm sure she enjoyed it. I know her parents did. And she deserved it. She played 2 great games right at the beginning of the season. Birmingham Southern this weekend, it's going to be a great game. I would believe it's going to be a game a lot of people are going to be very curious about in the SAA, the other coaches. They're going to wonder, how are these 2 teams going to be this year? I think both programs have kind of developed in the last 3 or 4 years about the same pace. We saw that last year. They came in last year, and they beat us here at home 2-1, and then we were able to go in the semifinals of the SAA tournament, get down 2-0, come back, and get a 4-2 win. They're well coached. They have some very good players, and so hopefully we can match up real well with them at their place. It is going to be a fun game. It's not going to dictate the rest of the year. It's not the end-all be-all, but it is certainly our first big game. And it's funny that our first big game is going to be obviously our first conference game. So we're trying to impress that upon the girls. Travel well, get them ready to play, but it's going to be a fun game.
On behalf of everybody else here in the athletics department, we want to wish you guys good luck.
Thank you.
And this has been our 3rd week of the Warriors Coaches Show. See you guys next week.
Mama told me not to say a word. Mama 17, 5,